Starting live video. Hello Facebook, hello YouTube. Very nice to be back with you on International Women's Day. If you're watching this in real time, I hope everybody is safe and well and enjoying a good day. Relatively early start to the week on a Tuesday, and I thought that as we're in March we would invite back one of our favourite guests. Yes, the wonderful Rupert from Delilah Cosmetics, who is going to be putting me in bright pink, apparently. Okay, so that's why I'm sitting here with a naked face, but in the sun here in Kenya, so it is quite sunny, and I've just seen the light actually is very golden, so I don't think I'm quite that brown, but the light is making me looking quite brown. Oh, Nikki, you've got your leapfrog. Well done. I've got my leapfrog immune here as well. I've got several things actually. I was just enjoying a cup of coffee with, I've got Balanced here to raise it up. This is my little makeup mirror, which I'll be using in a minute, but I've been using the Butterfat Keto after our live. Anybody else got that and tried it? I'm really loving it actually. I have it in my morning tea and coffee, and I just loved all that science behind the MCT oil and not burning sugars in the brain but burning healthy fats. I thought that was fascinating. Well, before we get in to the whole kind of makeup tutorial, Tuesday tutorial, I've been asked lots of questions about what I'm doing out here. Am I ever coming home? Yes, I am, I promise. I've got a few more weeks with some projects. So my connection with Kenya is my ex-husband used to work here as a photographer. So when we got married 20 or so years ago, he said, you've got to come to Kenya, you've got to meet all my friends. And I was thinking, oh gosh, I don't know anything about Kenya, not sure. Anyway, came over here and absolutely fell in love with it, made loads of friends. There's a family home here, which we've had for a long time, first in Naivasha and then up near Mount Kenya, and you may have seen pictures of me there. And then when the beauty company was sold back in 2010, one of the things that I did was start a humanitarian aid charity called Live Twice. And some of you will have been to the Christmas Carol concerts that we do every year. And obviously there's a huge need here, particularly for working with women's groups, women's community projects. And I've always felt that it's really important to kind of lift others as you rise. And so coming face to face with a real need, it's meant that I've been involved with many projects over here over the years. And I'm the patron of a few charities like ACE Africa, which many of you may know. Restart Africa, I'm an advocate for Fair Trade Foundation, which of course has got a lot of links with developing countries, particularly with Africa. And so over the years, my connections have kind of grown, and my eldest son, Guy, lives out here, he works here, he came out to start a sustainable housing company, and that got hit with COVID because he'd literally just come a couple of years ago, but he's now up to all sorts of good things. And of course, I haven't been able to be here for a couple of years, so all the things that I'd kind of put on hold, I've now been able to come out and do, and also connect with Guy, which has been amazing, and his lovely girlfriend Alice, who just so happens to be a wellness chef. So I said, oh my goodness, Guy, you do realise you're going out with your mother. Anyway, she's great, and it's been lovely to spend some time with them. So I've got another few weeks doing various projects. You may have seen on my stories for International Women's Day, there are lots of different mentorship groups that I've been connected with, and just sort of general, particularly general female empowerment, because it's really tricky out here. It's a very chauvinistic society, and it's hard, particularly for women, to find opportunities. I know many of you connect with the charity Loving Humanity, the amazing Amy Peake, and she's somebody that I've supported for a long time, putting sanitary towel machines into refugee camps and slums. And there's still extraordinary need, and lots of war zones and refugee camps right across Africa. You know, here we're bordering Somalia, you've got Sudan, further left you've got Congo, Chad, Niger, all of that. You know, it's very easy to forget the whole of Africa, but it's a daily occurrence. You know, some of the things that unfortunately we're seeing in Europe is also happening in other parts of the world. So it's a tricky time globally, and I think if I can do just a little bit for the sisterhood in Africa, then I just do what I can. So anyway, very nice to see you. But yes, I am coming home. I haven't moved here, forever. Definitely not. not? So today, so that's my background, and also my family. Looking back through my grandparents, I have my grandfather, my maternal grandfather was naval. He travelled a lot. That was back in the day when they used to go to sea for maybe 2 years at a time. Can you imagine? And he travelled all around, and he absolutely brought back lots of African stories and artifacts. And it's I think anybody who knows Africa will know that there's some amazing opportunities to meet incredible people and explore amazing things. And my middle son, Kit, he's actually been off on an archaeological expedition with a phenomenal guy called David Coulson. If you want to look him up, he's the world expert in rock art, and they've just come back from a trip to the Sahara, which was just extraordinary. So, real opportunity for learning, and particularly learning about culture and conservation. So that's partly what I have been doing. Who's saying that her mum grew up there? Who is that? Your granddad was High Commissioner of Kenya back in the 60s. You'd love to go out and visit where my mum grew up. Absolutely. I mean, it is really an extraordinary place. So so that's the background. So I am coming home, I promise, but just got a few more things to do first. So today we're going to be talking about makeup, and we're going to be back joined with one of our favourite people. Oh my goodness, it always goes crazy whenever Rupert is with us. So Rupert is the co-founder with his wife of Delilah Cosmetics, which is a really brilliant British beauty brand. We do have a Liz Loves, so thank you very much to Rupert and the team. That's 20% off all their single item bits of makeup, so everything that we talk about. And when Brella came out here, she brought me a little bag here full of the things that we're going to be talking about today. So I have, as I say, I've got a completely naked face, which is slightly concerning, but we're all friends here, so there you go. Just have to block myself because it is hot. And hopefully we'll be able to be joined by Rupert. Let me see whether we've got Rupert in the house, and hopefully he can start putting some slap on me, or at least virtually. Now, I don't see him just yet. Maybe he is just waiting. Yeah, I've actually, I'm trying not to get tanned, actually. I wear a lot of high factor sunscreen. I've got my hat here, which just kind of goes everywhere. But we are on the equator, so, it's really hot a lot of the time, and it's hard because the light is reflected. You can see I'm sitting somewhere with a white wall, and you have to remember that even if you're not actually out in the sun, when you are somewhere sunny, that reflected light can still impact on the skin. So I'm delighted actually that a lot of the things that we're going to be talking about here that Rupert sent me do have an SPF. So this is their base, which I'm hoping we're going to put on fairly soon, and this is a broad spectrum SPF 20. So that's pretty good, isn't it? And don't forget that makeup is actually very protective, because what makeup is mostly is minerals, mineral pigments. And the more mineral pigment we put on our skin, the better protected it is. So makeup, for all sorts of reasons, not just for improving our self-esteem and helping to give us a little bit of a lift when perhaps we're feeling really gloomy, it is actually protecting. And even if we're not in the sun, it's actually shielding us in urban environments from environmental pollutants, so it can be very skin protective. So it is actually a good thing for the skin, as long as you get good formulations, hypoallergenic obviously, which of course all this is. Let's see, have we got, I think you have requested, Rupert. Let's see, hopefully the connection will last across the continents. Let us see. Where are we? Yeah, I will definitely do a sun care story. Yeah, definitely.
Hello, hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very well indeed. How are you?
I'm really super well, actually.
You look glowing, if you don't mind me saying. I mean, everyone else I've noticed in the comments is saying the same thing.
Well, I hope I'm not looking too sweaty.
We never say sweaty, darling. Glowing is the phrase.
And glowing, exactly.
No. Well, your thing.
It's lovely for us to have you back here. Thank you so very much indeed for giving us all a bit of a lift, I think, on this Tuesday. We're going to do a Tuesday tutorial. We're going to block off the news, and we're just going to focus on looking good, bringing a little bit of brightness to the day, and learning some fab things, as always, from you. So thank you.
You know what's interesting was because actually I was thinking about last time we spoke, and we did a sort of sparkly makeup for for Christmas, and you were saying that you were going to be in Kenya, and I was thinking about what we might do, and you are right, we are going to talk about bright pink, but stick a pin in that for a second.
Okay.
It's actually interesting that you are in such a hot temperature, because actually I think we can talk about that a little bit as well as we go, right? Because, I mean, you know, I know it's not quite warm here yet, but people will start venturing out.
It's getting there, isn't it? Yeah, I was looking at the weather forecast, and it's certainly getting there. Certain parts of the UK have got a bit of sun, which is nice.
The sun is shining here in Royal Berkshire. It's
brilliant.
Gorgeous. The daffodils are poking their heads out. There are a few more, but you know when the bird song starts to pick up a little bit as well, you know, and you start to notice it in the morning. So yeah, it's starting to feel a bit spring-like.
Do you know, I miss that. That's the thing about being on the equator, is you don't really have seasons. The great thing about the UK and most of Europe is that we have spring, summer, autumn, winter, and you know, I can't wait to come back home and see the crocuses. I probably miss the snowdrops, but as you say, the daffodils, the blossom, you know, new life, baby lambs, you know, all of that, chicks hatching. It's a rhythm of the year, and we don't get it here. You know, the sun comes up at 6, it goes down at 6, pretty much every day. It's either raining or not raining. That's it, really, in terms of seasons, and we forget.
The air smells different. You know, you're coming down every morning and it's dark outside, and then one morning you come down, it's a bit brighter, and you think, the air smells a little bit different. You know, I can smell spring coming. Yeah. So that was going to be our inspiration for our makeover today. If that's okay.
I can't wait for my makeover. I'm super excited.
So I do think you look a bit tanned to me.
Well, I mean, I've been here for a while now, and, you know, I do try not to, but the thing about melanocytes, you know, and I'm in my 50s, is that they have memory. And you'll find this, you know, the older you get, that if you have spent time in the sun, and as a youngster, you know, particularly in my 20s, we didn't really know very much. Certainly not what we know now about sun damage. And I can remember, you know, sitting with a reflector and lemon juice and olive oil on my face, trying to get brown. Or using, like, was it Burgasol, which was like an SPF 2? Frying my skin. So now I literally only have to go out for a few minutes, and my melanocytes go, oh, we recognise this UV. We're going to make you look all brown again. So
exactly.
But I am careful.
All right, so for that very reason, and I saw that lovely bag of makeup.
Brella brought it out for me with her. I'm so excited. I haven't tried anything, so this is brand new. This is as new to me as it is for you guys.
Okay, so a couple of things you have seen before, and I'm glad that we've stocked you up. You know, while you're out in Kenya as well, as you've got some bits and pieces to wear.
Yeah.
Look, what we're going to do is we're going to do a fresh spring makeup, and we are going to talk about brighter, fresher colours, because as we were just talking about, I do think as the seasons change, our mood changes. And as our mood changes, our wardrobe changes.
Yeah, brighter colours.
So therefore our makeup, you know, I've probably said this to you before, but I'm a great advocate that your makeup routine should be a little bit like your wardrobe, in the way that you've got some choices to make. You know, a lot of people do the same thing over and over again, and it's nice to have a few choices and say, well, the sun is shining, I'm going to reach for this colour, I'm going to go for that look. So that's what it's going to be about today. You've got a tissue with you for dabbing, which is fine, so feel free.
Do you mind? I'm sorry, I'm going to have to dab a bit. I have got nothing on my face, not a scrap. But I have got, am I going to start with your primer? Because I've got the Future Resistant primer.
That's going to help you out straight away. Let's get straight into the
primer. So tell me about this, because a primer is not something that I usually use. So why do we need this?
Okay, so I always talk about primer as being the layer that your makeup floats on top of. The problem about makeup against your skin is some of it can get absorbed into the skin, or some of it can slide off. Primer is like your barrier between your skincare and your makeup. So as you massage that in, Liz, what you'll be left with is a gentle kind of slip. We call it a slip.
A slip.
But it's just a
lovely. My sweat, so silky. Immediately.
It's really
Can I use this all over?
Yeah, please do. I'll send you some more.
A gallon of it. Thank you.
that silky sensation is going to balance out those kind of drier, those kind of more oily areas on the face. So everything becomes very consistent. The makeup will apply more easily. The makeup will look better as you put it on. You'll probably need less, you'll see.
Oh, nice.
And your makeup will last longer as well.
Oh, good.
So it's not, excuse me, it's not a skincare product. It is that shortcut to making your skin look and feel fantastic, ready for makeup. And often when meet women who say, oh, my foundation never looks right, or it doesn't last very long, or it looks a bit patchy, primer is always the answer. Now, what you've done there is exactly right. 3 or 4 dots all over the face, a little onto the neck as well, until you can feel that lovely slip.
Yeah, it's just
and that will do a little bit of oil control on your skin. So even if you're not wearing makeup, which you're probably not in the heat, just a little bit of primer on during the day will just help with that oil control.
Nice. Like that idea. I haven't even thought about that, just wearing it on its own.
Right,
and then I could put a sunscreen on top, couldn't I? Or just like a bronzing powder or something.
Exactly, yeah, absolutely. Do you know what I would probably recommend? Think about primer as a cosmetic product. So do your skincare sunscreen routine as normal.
Okay.
And then your primer goes on top.
Okay, fine.
So which just before it goes on before your foundation. It's completely clear. I would recommend it for dry skin, oily skin, young skin, mature skin.
Oh, nice.
When we go out and do weddings, we often put some on the groom because the skin looks better, straight.
Don't tell the guys, they'll be nicking it.
Listen,
I get enough trouble with Kit already, with my hair stuff.
They do not need much encouragement to get a bit of makeup on them. They really don't. So always prime first. That's a step that we always do, and that's our underwear primer. Okay, next. So normally, foundation, you are traditionally with us a colour called Shell, sometimes your Pebble. I've sent you 2. I've sent you Pebble. I've also sent you Maple. And we might talk about this actually, because often people do need to match foundations a bit. But Liz, can you do me a favour? Can you just pump a little dot of Pebble onto the back of your hand?
Yep, this one is Pebble, and this is exactly what I normally use, Pebble and Shell. So that's Pebble.
Yeah, do me a quick favour. Just sample a little on your forehead here, because if you're going to be brown, you're going to be browner here.
Oh, am I? Okay, yeah, that's a wee bit pale, maybe.
Yeah, so, it's a good... they always used to teach match foundation along the jawline.
Absolutely, down here. But you think you should do it up here? That's a good tip.
I think you need to check it there, but I also think you need to check against your forehead, especially if you've had a bit of sun, because you'll often find...
Makes sense. It hits you up here.
It can look a little ghostly and a little pale. So listen, this is what we're going to do. We'll apply some Pebble a little bit lower down the face. We're going to do a little pump of Maple in a minute. So what you can do is, at the bottom of the face, just dot on. Did I send you? I'm pretty sure I did.
You did. Have I got to use a brush?
So that's a full coverage foundation brush. So dot a little Pebble around the bottom of the face, and then just buff onto the skin. Exactly.
It feels so much nicer than my fingers actually using a brush.
You know, while it's a bit warm and while your fingers will be a little bit more oily, it's going to be trickier to apply your foundation. It's going to be easier to just buff that on with that brush. It'll feel a little bit cooler on the skin. So,
it feels lovely,
very
actually.
nice. Yeah, lovely. Yeah, that's good. And don't be afraid. I mean, the thing is, in the summer season, we tend to expose a little bit more of this, so don't be afraid to go a little onto the neck to sort of match these 3 colours together. Yeah, that looks nice. Isn't that lovely, that brush?
I love it. I just want to sit here and do this, frankly.
Well,
very soothing.
let's do that for 50 minutes. Okay. What I want you to do is actually just with Maple. Oh, hang on a second.
Where's my Maple? Oh, let me show you Maple while Rupert goes off to answer his phone. This is Maple. This is a new one for me.
So just
there you
half
go.
a pump. That's it. Yeah.
That's probably a bit too much then. I'll just use half.
About half of that. And then what I would just do is, just mix a little bit into your brush.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And just go a little bit along the hairline here for me. Just a little bit higher up. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. And then a little just kind of around the cheeks as well. So where we tend to get a little bit warmer. And this is a great trick, you know, for the guys who are watching at home. If you find you're in between colours, sometimes you can start with the lighter colour, come back with the darker colour, and just warm up where the sun would naturally hit. So that's the cheekbones, the forehead, and just buff those colours together a little bit. And if there's too much on your brush, Liz, just buff it somewhere clean on your hand and use the brush to buff that together. That looks better. That looks better, actually, because that pebble was looking a little bit light. Yeah, very nice.
Do you know, it's a really good trick, I think, to have 2 or 3 different shades of the same foundation, you know, the same brand and texture, because our skin doesn't stay the same, does it? And it does. And it's no more expensive, because you're just, you know, obviously there's the initial outlay, but then it takes, you know, if you've got 2, they last twice as long. And you can really tailor the colour to you, depending on where you are.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. And even, you know, brands are bringing out 30, 40, 50 shades of foundation, and it's still challenging to find the right colour. So by mastering that, understanding what your winter colour looks like and what your summer colour looks like, and being able to blend
them, yeah, really good.
In that kind of crossover of the season. But the secret is having a brush, you know, a good buffing brush like that to kind of blend everything together. Yeah, and that looks really, really lovely. Well done.
And it's got an SPF. So it is an SPF 20. That's really good.
So the thing
My skin's now protected.
This is what I would say. Yes, it has an SPF 20 in there. I would still say people should be using an SPF on a daily basis. I don't think that... look, you know me, Liz. I'm quite transparent as a brand founder. I don't think SPFs in foundation should replace your daily SPF. Yeah. But they certainly do the job, as you were saying before, just before I joined, about protecting the skin against the environment, you know, about just protecting, you know, on a daily basis, even here in the UK, you know, when you're getting that kind of UV exposure. Yeah. Okay, very good. Listen, what we need to do is just get a little bit of powder on you. And for that, I've given you our light to medium bronzer. You
have? That's this one.
Yes. And that's going to work really, really well. That's going to work really well as almost as a setting powder for you. Nice. So you should have the powder brush, very good, armed and at the ready. And then what I would do again is just go in, and remember my trick is always to tap a little bit into the mirror. So you go into the product and tap on the mirror.
Tap on the mirror to get the excess.
And then tap on the mirror, exactly. And then starting at the top, what I would do is just come through the forehead. That's it, and just dust down that T-zone. Lovely. Yeah, great. Well done. And then just a little onto the cheeks. Yeah, nice. Actually, what we've got now is this nice match through kind of the chest, neck, face. Everything kind of matches really, really nicely.
So this one, just to remind people, I'm using light medium.
That is
colour.
The light medium bronzer.
Light medium.
It's matte. It's 100% matte. I don't think bronzers should have sparkle in them. And we've said this before, I prefer them when they have more of a matte, velvety finish, and then we can add glow later if we want to. There we go, look at that. That's just knocked back the shine, but we've still got that nice radiance. You know, the bronzer would work really nicely with the primer, Liz.
Really?
You know,
just primer and bronzer? Wow.
I think that works really nicely if you just want to cut down the shine a little bit and just add a little bit of warmth. Yeah, that's lovely.
Yeah, I apologise for the shine.
The glow.
A little bit too shiny.
Love it. How's that feel on your skin?
Feels great. And actually, what I really like is just to put a little bit kind of here.
Yeah, very nice.
And patch in, and I'm not wearing anything that's particularly low, but if I do wear something that's a bit low, this bit of my skin tends to be quite pale.
A little bit paler.
Just a tiny bit there, just to blend it all in together. If I'm wearing something a bit lower, like a V-neck.
It's the same here, you know. This area that never gets any sun underneath.
Right under there. True.
Like a little bit just across there is really pretty as well. All right, great. Skin done. Fantastic.
Skin done.
Nice, light, easy to go. So, really, today's about blush and lips.
Okay.
And yes, we are going to talk about a bright pink. So, rather controversially, I've sent you a blusher called Lullaby.
Yeah, you have. I've not tried this one before. Well, that's a pretty colour.
There we
Look
go.
at that. Isn't
So
that pretty? Lullaby.
yours looks even brighter. Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So here's the thing. Springtime, our skin tends to be a little bit fairer, a little bit sallow. And I would say often, you know, the women that I speak to are a bit nervous about blushes that look so bright, but they don't look as bright when they go on the skin.
Okay.
And I think what happens is women end up sort of buying those sort of sludgy, bronzy colours that really don't do anything to lift the complexion at all.
Right.
And I think it's a good idea to be a little bit braver and pick something that gives a little poppy flush to the cheek. So
Poppy flush, I like that.
A poppy flush. It's a new type of flower I've invented. Okay, same brush again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, in fact, put the brush down. Put the brush down for a second. Put the blush down for a second. Where to put blusher? My goodness. So I've been doing makeup so long now that over every decade where we put blusher seems to change. When I trained to do makeup, at the very late 80s, we used to do the go faster stripe, right?
Right,
so
right
we would
here.
we do the fish face, and then we do the go faster stripe with a pink lip, right? And then in the 90s, I remember we all started doing that smile.
Yeah,
and
little
put
pop.
it in the middle of the cheek there. I don't really think either of those work that well. I mean, if you smile and put your finger on your cheek and relax, actually your blusher ends up too low.
Yeah, you're right. It's down here.
So I don't think that's great. So actually, what you need to do is with two fingers, find the corner of your cheekbone. If you just feel around your cheekbone, you'll find a sort of corner. Yeah, it's around there.
Up here.
Got it? Yeah, it's around there. It's just kind of underneath the corner of the eye. That's where your blusher needs to start. There. And it's a little higher. A lot of people end up applying a little bit low.
Too low. Okay, so
I hope
higher.
I hope everybody's joining in at home. Two fingers on the face to just find where that sort of corner of your cheekbone is.
Interesting.
That's where you want your blush to start. So
That's new for me.
brush into the blusher, and if you can, have a little dab. If you can, try and use the tip of the brush. Again, yeah, I think we all get a bit nervous and end up using the side of the brush, but you know, we spend a long time trying to make the tip of the brush the right shape. And again, my little trick, dab in the mirror to take the excess off.
Okay, yeah, the excess is in the mirror. See that?
Great. So with the tip of the brush now, I want you to just, where you had your two fingers a minute ago, start a little colour there and very gently start to move it backwards. That's it. That's it.
Feels a lot higher than I would normally do, to be honest with you.
Well, okay, so this is going to lift the cheekbones
everything.
up.
That's nice. Can always do with a bit of a lift.
Just going a little bit higher up, catching up, and then towards, sweeping back sort of towards the top of the ear here. So we're catching that there. And what you'll find then is you can take a look at it, and if you feel like you want to sneak a little bit more towards the nose, that looks great.
Yeah?
Actually, where you applied that looks great.
High praise.
Yeah, that's really, really good.
Such a pretty colour.
Isn't that gorgeous?
It's called Lullaby.
Really,
so pretty.
and don't be nervous of these brighter colours. Yeah, exactly. Don't be nervous.
You need to do the other side.
So same on the other side again, using the tip of the brush there, small strokes to begin with to just catch the corner of the cheek. Yeah, Ali's saying she was taught this trick at Bobby Brown. Of course, the Masters of Self-Application. Yeah, of course.
Is that your wife? Is that who she worked with?
No, it's just Ali. Ali is one of your lovely
Oh, Ali, sorry, I haven't looked at the comments. My comments are frozen.
No, Marcy is saying that she's still in the 80s. Don't worry, darling, it's not a bad decade to be stuck in.
Oh, yeah, excellent.
So at this point now, what you can do is you can just take a look and see whether they're even. And this is the problem with blush, is sometimes one ends up here, and the other one's kind of around there a little bit. But if you have a foundation brush, you can come back with your foundation brush.
Okay, so that's my foundation brush.
Sweep underneath and clean up. That looks great. I mean, I think what you've done looks really, really nice.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to have to find somewhere to go after this.
I would be tempted to just just push that up a little bit. You know, don't be afraid to just go for a nice big cheek.
I'll go for it.
That looks great. Go for it. Because again, I think that once we've done more makeup, you'll probably come back and do a little bit more.
Pop a bit more on at the end. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Lovely. Okay. So, pink blusher is controversial, and I know because often when I sit women down in my chair and I talk about pink blusher, they're terrified of it for two reasons. One is normally that does that make sense? Like there are lots of women who feel like they've got quite a lot of red in their skin, so when they put the foundation on, they take all the red away and they're very, very happy, and then you come at them with a pink blusher and of course they feel all nervous about it, which is fair enough. I would say this. If you have very high colouring in your cheeks already, maybe if that colour is breaking through your foundation, maybe you don't need blusher at all. Just take a look at it in the mirror, you know.
Yeah.
Or I would say if you are covering that pinkness up completely, you will need to bring some pink back into the skin for it to look natural.
Sure.
You know, we're not one colour from here to here.
No, we're not. We change. Lots of colours going on.
You need to have some dimension in the face. The third thing I'll say is if you are really nervous about pink, swap it out for coral. Look for those slightly more orangey, corally tones.
You've got a lovely coral one. I forget the name of it. It's in my makeup bag.
It's Clementine.
Actually. Clementine. I thought it was. I didn't want to say that you've got
Clementine.
it. Yeah, it's a really pretty, pinky, peachy colour.
It's a really wearable coral, and we've definitely put that. We've done some bronzy looks in the past.
Exactly. Yeah, I love that. That's in my makeup bag normally.
Exactly. But don't be scared of pinks. I guess the last thing I want to say is I get asked a lot about sort of grouping colours together for people's specific colouring. I get asked a lot by sort of journalists about this. It's very difficult to answer, you know, brown hair, brown eyes equals fill in the blank, blonde hair, blue eyes equals fill in the blank. And as makeup artists, we break those rules all the time. And I do find that a nice sort of fresh pink like this will go on quite a lot of skin tones, you know. So I think that it's nice to have in your makeup wardrobe something bright, something poppy, something fresh that works really well on the skin. And that looks gorgeous.
I love it. I mean, it's a really natural look. We've got some comments. I just look tanned. I think that's great, actually, because what you don't want to do is look made up. You want people to say, oh, you look well, not, oh, I like your makeup. Because if somebody says that, then it's kind of, oh, are you just seeing my makeup? Actually, I want you to see me and my skin and the glow that comes naturally.
I agree. It's so a flush to the cheek is considered youthful. It looks youthful. It looks healthy because when the skin is working really well, there is increased circulation to the cheeks and you look flushed.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So we're going to finish the skin with, and this was what I hadn't encountered on, was the heat that we're in.
Sorry.
But for everybody at home, let's just talk about this. I've sent you a powder illuminator.
Ooh.
It's called Aura.
Aura.
And I never talk about highlighting. I'm done with highlighting. Yeah. I always talk about illuminating, you know, and sort of brightening up the skin. And rather controversially, I always apply illuminator after blusher, just kind of at the end here. So what you can do is, and you, Liz, go very lightly here because you are glowing already.
I've already got a glow.
You're already glowing. But what you can do here is the same brush. I'm a big advocate. We've used the same brush for bronzer, blusher, and illuminator. A dip into Aura, and then a tap onto your lid to take the excess off. And then very gently just sweep over your blush. Very gently. That's perfect. That's enough.
Just a tiny bit. You might need a little bit more.
Exactly.
If you're somewhere cold.
These illuminators, they're very translucent. Very, very translucent. So it's a great way of just adding a little bit. Yeah, that's really pretty. Nice. And if you wanted to, and I wouldn't on you today, but if you were going out, a little bit of illumination in the middle of
just
the
face. Just up here.
Well, yeah, exactly. And we're creating that kind of fresh, spring-like glow to the skin. Yeah, lovely. That looks really pretty. And it still looks like you, which is great.
Yeah, that's good. Now, you have sent me, also in here, one of my all-time makeup favourites from any brand ever. This is absolutely genuine. I have probably 3 of these in different places at home. It is Jezebel. I love this palette so much. It's got 9 shadows in it, and they are all brilliant. I use this one all the time, kind of over my eyelid, and then I'll use these sort of neutrals. I love this goldy one that makes my eyes just go pop if I just want to go out in the evening and have a bit of sparkle. And the dark here is just, you know, I just do the edges, and you know, that's all you need. I mean, I've got so many eyeshadow compacts, I can't even begin to tell you.
This is it, right?
And this is the one.
Thank you.
This is the one, seriously.
That's really,
big respect.
I know that you have several in varying states of use as well. You've flashed me a few in the past.
Where some are really worn down, where I've used and used and used them.
Dug into a few colours, yeah. You know, we just wanted to create something that looked like it was going to be a quad that would fit neatly in your makeup bag.
Yeah, you've got 9 colours.
And
they're all great.
Really, really wearable. Yeah, really wearable.
Really, really recommend it. So yeah, Jezebel, if you want to have a look on the website.
So we are going to go for a brighter lip.
Okay.
So we are going to go for a much more neutral eye. So yes, let's just start with a little bit of this lighter base colour here.
Yeah, I love this colour. I can almost do it just with my eyes shut. I mean,
and just go straight onto the lid. You know what's great about these kind of lighter colours? And I would go more onto the lid and less onto the brow, actually. So it's going to absorb any oil. So it's going to give us a really, really nice base. And certainly when you're in those kind of warmer climates where the eyelid can get a little bit more oily. I keep having to tap my phone. It keeps going dark. Apologies.
No, you look great to me.
Thank you.
But you know what I also find about this is that my eyelids, I think as I've got older, you know, the colour kind of changes. I've got darker pigment. And it just evens everything out. So sometimes, you know, I'll just use a bit of this pale colour and it just brightens the eyes. Maybe just a little bit of eyeliner or something, but that's it.
Yeah,
I feel that I don't need to use loads of colours. It just...
You're brightening up the lid.
Yeah.
Can I just... I've probably said this before because it's a bugbear of mine. It is really tempting to take this colour and to splash a lot of it onto the brow bone there.
Okay.
And I would really avoid doing that if I were you.
Okay.
Yeah, I find so many people have, what everybody refers to at the minute as hooded lids, which I think is an awful expression.
Yeah.
I always say hidden lids, and what that means is that part of the brow covers the lid.
Yeah,
and I think if you end up highlighting that area, you really bring that forward.
Right, you draw attention to it. Yeah, you don't want to do that.
It's not a great idea.
No.
You're much better to brighten up the lid itself. And as you have done there, just bring balance between this area here, which can look quite heavy, and this area, which is pushed back by just taking a lighter colour and bringing it forward.
Yeah, that's what I find. It's a really great tip. If you've not tried it, you know, using the pale colour on your actual lid.
Just on the moving part of the lid. Okay, so what we'll do is, for this look, if we've just taken, I want you to pick a mid-tone, and it can be any of these 3 here. But whichever one you
in the
fancy.
middle.
Any of kind of these 3 here. Yeah, maybe something like this. Maybe a matte colour actually. Maybe a matte colour like this. And then what I want you to do is just working on the outside corner, add a little bit to that outside corner, and just blend it in. And again, I have said this many times in the past, so excuse me if I repeat myself, but everybody should be watching Liz do this because she knows how to do it. The way to do your eye makeup is to tilt up your chin and look down in the mirror rather than closing one eye, because that never really works. Looking up so that you can stretch the brow, getting that colour right in where you need it, and you can see where the blending is. Now, if you're like me and you wear glasses, then you're going to have to invest in a magnifying mirror, which is a good news, bad news story.
Oh my goodness, you suddenly see all sorts of horrors when you're looking at, well, at least I do.
Don't sit in front of them too long. Don't drink gin and stare into a magnifying mirror, playing old records.
I found a chin hair the other day. That was devastating. But then I thought, hey, you know, at least I got it, you know.
Right, exactly that, yeah. Nobody else pointed it out to you, did they?
I can share it because we're all friends here.
I did I did a makeup demonstration many years ago on stage in front of potentially hundreds of people, in fact. And I talk a lot, I talk quite a lot. And it was for another makeup brand, and I had dusted this model's face with a big makeup brush. And as I looked down, one of the hairs from the brush was sticking out. So while I was talking, I reached down to pull the hair, and it wasn't. It was attached to her face. And as I pulled it out, she let out a yelp.
No!
Everybody went, hey, she went, ah!
Oh, no!
I
There's
know.
no way back from that one, is there, really?
No. A lesson learned from me. Leave hair where it is. Don't be grabbing people's
But your
hair.
brushes, to that point, they don't shed. I've had lots and
they
lots
don't.
of brushes over the years, and I've got some that I really like, but I can't use them because they shed. And then, I'm forever kind of picking out these little black hairs, which you do not want, especially over a certain
and as
age.
you know, they're 100% vegan as well. The whole range is 100%
They feel great.
vegan.
The whole range,
so
that's really good to know. I know that's...
Yeah. We
important for a lot of people.
absolutely no animals are harmed in any way. Certified by Peter as cruelty-free and vegan.
Brilliant.
And we're really proud of those brushes. Yes, no more natural hair brushes, people, please. That is a whole other Instagram live for us.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's pop on some mascara.
Yep, I love your mascara. We've actually, in the new issue of the magazine, we've done a whole spread on mascaras. Because who knew there were so many different types? I mean, it's a whole minefield, a whole big world out there. But yours is a volumizing one, as far as I'm aware, and it's day to night, and it builds. So you can use a bit during the day, and then when you want to give yourself a bit of vavoom at night, you can add to it.
A little bit. So I always say, Liz, small brush equals big lashes.
Small brush, big lashes.
If you want to get volume, you need a smaller brush, because the smaller brush, you'll get right to the root of the lash, and you'll load product onto the lashes. Bigger brushes, for me, create a lot of separation and a lot of definition. So if you want to create bigger lashes, you need a smaller brush. And also what that'll do is it'll catch all those tiny little lashes that you don't normally get to. My goodness, look at that.
I know, instant. Look, I mean, I've hardly barely put any on and my lashes have just gone woomph.
Yeah, that looks great, yeah. So a nice volumizing cream. The real hero of a mascara is the wiper. It's the little funnel inside the mascara bottle here that wipes the mascara off the brush. It's the unsung hero of mascara, actually. And often they can be very wide, they can be very big, and they leave too much product on. Or they can be too tight and pull too much product off the brush. So yeah, designing a mascara is a challenging thing to do. Yeah, that looks great. That looks really, really great. Somebody has written about, do you think as you get older you should go for brown mascara as black is too harsh?
Good question.
Thanks Jan for that question. I'm going to say no. Do you know, I hardly ever use brown mascara. The red undertone in brown mascaras, I often think can look a little pink around the eyes, and I think a black mascara makes the whites of the eyes look whiter. I think you need to team it with a little bit of shadow or a little bit of liner.
Yeah.
But I don't use brown mascaras. I'm not a lover.
I've tried, in the summer, if I've been on holiday, I've thought, well, maybe I'll just, downgrade a bit to a dark brown mascara. Maybe it'll look more natural. It doesn't.
Yeah.
I come back to black all the time, and I agree with you about the white, bringing out the whites of your eyes. But what I seriously love is that this mascara doesn't go crispy, so you can reapply and actually build. So you can leave it like this just for daytime, just to give you kind of a bit of a lift. And then, if I'm going out tonight, which I'm not, but were I would definitely.
You could build up a little bit more. Yeah.
And it never smudges. Every single mascara, bar a few, and I've tried so many over the years, smudge on me, but this one doesn't. Do you think you should do lower lashes or leave them alone?
It's a really good question, and it really depends on the individual. The only time I tend not to put mascara on lower lashes is if I meet women who have only got sort of 1 or 2 lashes underneath there, because you'll know what I mean. The lashes can become very
really
thin
sparse. Yeah.
And if I think you put mascara on there, then I think you exaggerate that. Otherwise, why not? Get some underneath there. What I tend to say is do the top lash first, and don't dip in and go onto the bottom lashes.
So leave it quite dry, your brush.
As the brush starts to dry out, just go a little bit underneath and just pull the lashes. Yeah, pull a little bit onto the
Just
lower
a
lashes.
little tiny bit, just like that.
Yeah, that looks great. That's really opened the eye up.
It has, hasn't it, actually? Yeah, don't be afraid of doing that. Just a tiny bit. And as I say, it doesn't smudge. And I've used it in the heat, extreme heat, and it still hasn't smudged.
Thank you. Yeah,
So,
thank you.
I'm very happy to test it for you in extreme heat conditions.
Please do. We've shipped it to the other side of the globe. For
You have.
All right. Okay. So let's do brows.
Brows, okay.
And then we're going to get controversial when it comes to lips. Okay.
Okay.
So, all right. So a simple brow. This is a brow shape. It is like a teeny brow mascara.
I love this so much. Look at that
Very
little
quick,
diddy brush. Look at it.
Tiny brush.
So cute. It's like a little fairy brush.
Just a little bit of colour in it, and the gel will hold the brows in place. So all you need to do is just sweep the brows upwards and outwards to give a little bit of colour. That's it. Yeah, perfect.
This is
That's
so great because, again, I'll tell you, because we're all friends, but as I've got older, I found that I do sometimes get grey in my brows. I do actually dye them from time to time with moustache dye. I haven't done that for ages. I haven't got any here. So this is really useful.
They will. That's right. They will just give a little bit of colour, and the gel will dry onto the brow, and it will really stay in place. Plus, if you've got the odd brow that sort of is pointing in the wrong direction, the brow gel is just going to help kind of groom them into place. And I know lots of people are nervous about taking a pencil and drawing their brow back in, or just feel like they don't have the time to do it. So something like brow shape. Very, very quick, very easy to do. But the reason why we're doing brows is we are going to talk about lips. And as I've always said, eyebrows and lips are best friends. If you're wearing colour on the lips, you definitely need some colour in your eyes. Ali has asked, please could you tell us which colour to go for with brow gel? This colour is Sable. Actually,
This
which
one is
the dark.
Sable. Okay.
This one is Sable, which is our bestseller. The other colour is Ash. I would say has nothing to do with your hair colour and more to do with your brow colour. You can be very blonde and have dark brows.
Yeah.
So if you naturally have a darker brow colour, then you would be Sable. If your brows are very, very blonde or have gone grey, then you would be our other colour, which is Ash.
Yeah, I can see Karen saying she loves the Ash gel brow because she's very fair. Same as Lily, she uses that one because she's super pale.
Kathy's asking about what if hardly any brows. Kathy, it's a great question, and I would point you towards actually using a brow pencil, to be honest. And maybe that's another live we can do another time.
Sure, let's do that, yeah.
I just think, creating that nice architecture in the brow with a few strokes of a pencil makes a real difference. So, Kathy S1, I would actually point you towards the pencil.
Okay, because sometimes what I do, if I'm going out in the evening and I want a really polished look, my brows stop quite short, they stop here, and I will sometimes just pencil in a little tail, just to bring them down a wee bit, to give the illusion of a sweeping arch, which I don't really have.
That's a really good idea. A lot of people tend to lose just at the top of the arch there as well,
just
so the brow starts to look a little flat.
Yeah.
Or, I was around in the 90s where we plucked everybody's eyebrows very flat.
And then they didn't regrow.
We did that to some models. These poor girls would come fresh from the agency, turn up to a shoot. The first thing we'd do is pull all their eyebrows out.
It was a thing. It was a thing then, I know. I lived through it.
It was a thing. Okay, so let's talk about lips. So we are going to go for a fresh pink again. And I've sent you one which is a matte liquid lip formulation. Because
I find these a bit scary, if I'm really honest with you.
Yeah, good. That's okay. I like to send you scary products to try. I like to send you something controversial. It's about time I put something in you that didn't work.
I love the colour. I'm just not sure about the matte.
Okay, all right. So look, we're going to talk about that because there are some other products to go with it as well. And I think what we'll do is we'll do some layering. This colour's called Blossom. It is a matte liquid lipstick. It will be great for the climate that you're in right now because it is really long wearing. And I know that we're not wearing masks as much these days.
Yeah, so we get back into lipstick. We want to see our smiles on our lips.
Lip colour again. So this is a really, really lovely colour. It's a great fresh colour. It comes with a doe foot wand. So I'm just going to allow you, what I'll do is...
Technical term, doe foot wand.
A doe foot, exactly, yeah. That's a doe foot wand. That's what we call
Love it.
So what you can do is just apply a little just on the bottom lip, press together, and then start to use the doe foot to just sculpt the top. Sculpting the top of the lip.
Nice colour.
It is a nice colour. And this is the nice thing about liquid lipsticks is they have a bit of punch to them. You know, they've got some real colour to them, and that was why I wanted you to try it. Our cream lipsticks, which we'll apply in a moment, they're a little bit more translucent. And I think last year we talked about sort of dabbing on red colours with your finger.
Yeah, you got me to dab a red. Love that. I still use that technique to this day. I love that.
Kerry September will never forgive me.
She's been trying to get me into red lipstick for years.
I know.
And then you come along.
Okay, pretty.
I can sense that is not going to come off.
No, right.
It's on and it's going to stay, which is great. Oh yeah, it's got a lot of fans on here. Jan says, nice colour.
Yeah, it's nice. It's there's a freshness to it without it being too much cerise or too blue.
Yeah,
especially
really
if you've got
pretty.
a little bit of a tan and you've got some colour on your cheeks. Yeah. It's really, really nice.
Carlene's saying this is her favourite, so it doesn't move or leave marks on your wine glass. That's good. Carlene, I'm very happy to test that theory for you later.
I think we should
you know, in the interest of research, purely for my community,
absolutely.
The wine glass, obviously it'll have to have wine in it, because otherwise it wouldn't, it wouldn't really be a test, would it?
Research. No. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so that's really, really pretty. Look, I will say this. I think if you have naturally got quite dry lips, I would say that this is not the formulation for you, because it has a little bit more of a matte finish to it. But I think
it's very modern, though. Very modern. It feels really, you know, fresh and kind of the moment.
Comfortable and light to wear. Exactly.
Yeah, I can't feel it at all. It's not sticky, which is nice.
No, I think it's a really pretty colour. Now, you can apply over these long wear lipsticks a more traditional lipstick. Okay. And I've sent you a colour called Grace. And what I would say is this: if you want to wear a long wear lipstick like that, you can apply it, and then you can pop a little bit of lipstick over the top, which will it'll give it a little bit of sheen. It'll make it a little bit, if you're a little bit sort of drier lips, it'll make it a little bit more comfortable to wear. The lipstick itself will eventually wear off, but your long wear colour underneath will last a little bit longer. Now that's really pushing up the pink, and that looks really, really pretty. Yeah, that's really, really pretty.
I've got nowhere to go tonight. That's really boring. I feel all dollied up now.
You'll have to stay at home and test the
wine.
So my very, very last point is this. Controversially, I would say you can finish with a lip liner. You know, back in the day we used to do lip liner first.
Always.
But I think it's really nice now, and I do this quite a lot. Once you've put your lip colour on, come back with your lip liner. And the colour I've sent you is Buff. It's our newest colour. It's a nice pinky nude.
I love this so much because look, there's a little wee sharpener in the end.
A little pencil sharpener.
Isn't that so neat? So you can just grind it into there.
Exactly, and get a nice sharp point. And then what you can do is you can very gently just sketch around the edge of the lip line, filling out anywhere where you feel just a little bit, where you need just a little bit more shape to the lips. It's actually much easier to do once you've got your lipstick on.
That's really interesting.
To put a little bit of lip liner on. Now, lip liner will stop your lipstick from bleeding. It's going to fill the colours. It's going to fill the lip out a little bit and give the lips a little bit more shape. But as I say, it's my new trick And I love just applying the lip liner after the lipstick, like you've done there.
Because my lips, I got quite full here and here, but they kind of taper off here.
Right,
so just to
right.
fill a little bit at the sides.
We all tend to lose a little bit of pigmentation in
Yeah,
the lip
just
there
here.
as well. So if you can sharpen that up,
Yeah.
and like I said, it's a little easier to do after you've applied the colour,
Yeah.
and that's great. Just lots of people asking about the colour. So the liquid lipstick was Blossom. The
Yep.
cream
That's
lipstick
this one.
is called Grace. That colour there is called Grace. And then the lip line, so that's Blossom, liquid lipstick,
Yep.
great colour for spring.
Great colour.
The cream colour is called Grace, and then the lip liner is called Buff.
What a great
If
trio.
you want to, yeah, that's really pretty. I quite like the look that we've got now. It's got a nice sheen to it. You could dab some gloss on there. I did send you a gloss.
You did send me a
want to
gloss.
save that for the evening. It's our newest colour called Minx. Again, a lovely wearable colour for spring.
Look at that.
And you
That's
can
Minx.
dab just a little, even just
Smells
into the
slightly
middle of
fruity
the bit.
too, which is nice.
No, yeah, English fruits we call it.
English
British
fruit.
berries. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty. Just a little in the middle.
Oh yeah, look at that.
That's lovely. See, pink doesn't need to be too scary. It, you know, it can
Okay.
brighten up the complexion.
You
it can work
win.
really well. Phew, that was lovely.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making up my face. But not only that, for giving us so many brilliant tips. I think a lot of people will be
It's my
reevaluating sort of what's in their
Yeah,
makeup
sure.
bag as we move into spring. Because, what is it, March 21st, first day of spring?
Right, I know. It'll be here
So
any moment.
it's coming
won't it?
up, and then we've got
Yeah.
the clocks going forward. So, you know, everything is hopefully beginning
I
to...
think we need it.
to
You know,
move.
we're looking forward to a bit more light and the flowers and the birds coming out.
Yeah.
It's going to be lovely.
Yeah.
It's going to be lovely.
Rupert, thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. Well, thank you also for your very, very generous discount for the Liz Loves. We really appreciate it, having the 20%
Well, look,
off everything.
we love your community. Thank you so
Yeah,
much to
they are
everyone
the
who's
best.
watched. You know, you guys are so great at dropping us comments and letting us know
Yeah.
how we're getting on with products and things.
It's great to get
So
feedback here, you know, to see the
it's
comments
just-
for people
it's
who've
just
already
great.
tried some of these products and who love them. It's really helpful.
Yeah, great. Well, listen, enjoy your stay, the rest of your stay.
Thank you.
We
I'm
miss
back
you.
soon. I am working hard, I promise. I know it's hard to believe
I'm
it,
sure.
but it's
Yeah, I'm sure.
it's full on, but good, but all
It's-
very positive. Lots of positive things happening in some places that otherwise haven't been so positive.
Good for
so
you.
it's
Yeah,
good.
good for you.
It's good.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Thank you.
All right.
Love
Such
to
a
you all back
pleasure.
home. Thank you, darling.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for being with us.
Thanks,
Big
guys.
hearts. Love to your
Yeah,
team.
lots of love to you too.
Bye.
Okay.
You're
Bye-bye.
going to have to
Bye.
leave me, sweet, otherwise I cut everybody off. Oh, always so good. Don't we love Rupert? Yes, we do. So interesting. I agree. Love it. Learn a lot. And definitely, you know, this is not something that I've ever really got into, if I'm really honest. A primer. But the idea, you know, and actually being talked through it and using it, if you missed the very beginning, this was the very first thing that Rupert asked me to put on my skin. And it just sort of blots everything and gives you that just all over evenness. So if you put makeup on top, it lasts longer. It just smooths everything out. It can help with shine. You could just use this and a bit of powder and a bit of blush. Brilliant. So Liz Loves Ali is 20%. Yeah, on all the single products on Delilah. Okay, Liz Loves all in capitals. Brilliant. So that just remains for me to share a few little things. Oh my goodness, didn't we love Professor Dawn Sim? Did you see my last Instagram live with her? Wasn't she fabulous? And I did promise her that I would start taking the eye vitamins. As you know, I've got quite a few supplements that I'm taking. But yeah, I have been taking it. She said take 2 of these every day for 2 weeks and see how your eyesight improves and how your eye health is. Fascinating. And I have been doing research into the Peruvian berry that she talked about called maqui. And that also contains these carotenoids called lutein and zeaxanthin. Really, really interesting. And the vitamins B6 and B12 to help with eye fatigue, and the little eye spray as well. I don't know whether ever. Sarah saying, Professor Dawn, best guest ever. Yeah, she was great. great, wasn't she? What a character. Loved her talking about going off and giving her kids chicken nuggets and having everything in balance. Brilliant. Nikki, your spray arrived yesterday. Excellent. Let us know how you get on with it. Always love feedback. Definitely. Seriously want feedback on all this stuff. Something that I've been trying out here, which I'm going to give you guys a bit of feedback, is Michael Van Clark. Love talking to Michael. I got a message from him actually saying, can I go in and see him in the salon when I get back to the UK? Definitely, Michael. I'm so hot-footing it to your place. This was his brand 3 More Inches, because it just gives so much health and vitality to the hair as we age. This has a UV protective conditioner, so obviously I brought it with me. So this is the Cashmere Protein Shampoo, the UV protective shampoo, and the Cashmere Protein Conditioner. I have been using these, and even though I'm in quite extreme sun and harsh, you know, chemicals, you know, chlorine in pools, all that kind of thing, seawater, it's really, really helped my hair. And also this, the volumizing blow dry spray. So we do have, Liz loves, 20% again on everything at Michael Van Clark. I love his products. They're fairly new for me. But I have been trying them out here, and they are something that I definitely reach for and will reach for, you know, again and again. So what I've been impressed with, as someone who has actually designed shampoos in the past, is this is protective, so it doesn't strip out the colour. So I've had quite a lot of colour in my hair, and what I hate is the shampoos that just strip the colour out straight away. And it foams really well, but it doesn't contain sodium lauryl sulfate, and that is the key. That is the sign of a really good shampoo, when it doesn't have sodium lauryl sulfate, but you still get lots of lovely foam. So well done, Michael. Thank you very much. Probably not watching this, but anyway, I love it, and thank you for our Liz Loves. That is something that has been road tested by me at length here. We do have, by the way, if you're interested in the eye vitamins and the eye spray, it's 10% off with Liz Loves. And the website for that, they are mthk.com, I think. I know we popped a link, haven't we? Yeah, MTHK. Thank you very much, Rachel. Rachel's on Facebook and my team talking about that. Now, before I go, I just wanted to mention something about Kenya, because you may see in the days and weeks to come me talking about a men's brand, although they do have some women's things, called Koi Clothing. And this is young friends of my eldest son, Guy. And they do a lot of community work. So a lot of the brands that I like to support, particularly out here, are the ones that give back. And this is, many of you will know what this is if you've travelled to East Africa. This is a kikoi. And a kikoi is a hand-woven piece of fabric with tassels, little hand tasseled edges, in these traditional stripes, and you can get them in all colours, and they are so useful. The guys wear them as sarongs. Do you remember that famous picture of David Beckham wearing a sarong? Well, he wasn't actually kind of wearing a sarong, it was more like a kikoi really, but that's what the guys wear here. And you can use them, they are, you know, they use them to carry babies in, they use them as blankets, they use them as shawls, as wraps, you know, I mean, kikois are just everywhere. Super, super useful. And my sons have loads of them. Every time they come out here, they, you know, they buy another kikoi. So this young brand, fashion brand, which we do have a Liz Loves with, by the way, in case you're looking for something particularly for guys, I don't know, Easter presents or birthdays or Father's Day in June, any of that. And what they do is they use the kikoi fabric as trim. So look at that. So just the inside, this is one of Kit's shirts, which I've just knit from his wardrobe. And the edges here, this is the cuff, which you can fold back. They've got some really lovely dark blue shirts with some stripy cuffs, and just a little, I think they call it, do they call this the placket, this little bit here? Really, really nice quality. And what's so great about these guys is not only are they using the traditional real Kenyan fabric, but they also give back. You can check out their website, and they've got amazing initiatives for helping with education in rural communities which don't have access to schooling, and they are really good. So when I came out to Kenya, they were looking to shoot their new catalogue, and Kit's been doing a bit of modelling, bless him, and so he was involved in that, and we all got together and I hosted them at my place, and that catalogue's coming out very soon, so I shall share some behind the scenes, but I just wanted to introduce it to you so that if you see it on my Instagram, You'll know about those guys. And I think they've given us 10% off. Let me just check. Yep. Liz Loves gets 10% off Koi clothing. Now, who's got their magazine? Who has got their Earle Wellbeing magazine? Because I haven't. No, I've only got the digital version online, which is great, and it's really handy to have, and I'm very thankful for it. But I haven't yet seen the real print one. So I hope you all love it. It's a very green issue, and it's got lots of fab recipes and lots of really good skincare and beauty and makeup stuff in it. You've got it, have you? Oh, thank you. Thank you for all your lovely hearts. Thank you for saying that's really, really nice. Oh, interesting. KJ McCowan says, I brought one for my son for Christmas. The colours and the quality is fab. Yeah, I do highly recommend them. They're lovely. And it's a young company, you know, it's young founders doing their bit, putting back, which is part of the game, isn't it? You know, it's not just about making as much cash as you can. It's actually about thinking about others, provenance, sustainability, you know, being part of the solution wherever we can and not part of the problem. And these guys certainly do that. So yeah, 10% for Koi. Thank you very much indeed. But if you haven't yet subscribed to the magazine and you'd like to, don't forget that the subscription gift is, I've got it here actually. This is another of my little Kenya must-haves. This is a hand-woven little raffia bag, and actually this is Maasai beading. So they just made a strap woven out of Maasai beads. So again, you know, things like the traditional kikoi, the beading, it's all very Kenyan, it's very authentic and very typical of what you'd find here. So this is my little shoulder bag that I have here, and in here I have my drops of balance. These come everywhere with me. Sorry, it's a bit tatty, the box, because if you feel overwhelmed by stuff and life events, then this, few drops under the tongue, just kind of takes the edge off. And it's a really, really good formulation. It's adaptogenic herbs. Let me make sure I get this right. So this is ashwagandha, one of our favourites. I'm also taking ashwagandha from Pharmacist. Love that brand. The Relax formula, full of ashwagandha. Really good. Have you listened to the podcast with Tim Samuels? So interesting. And Dr. Uma, the nutritional psychiatrist from Harvard. So interesting, all of that. So yeah, this is Shatavati root, lemon balm leaf, which actually Lily's been told to take by a medic. Apparently there are really interesting properties in lemon balm. I need to do some research into that. And Schisandra berry and the ashwagandha. So this is great. This goes with me in my bag. Anyway, the reason I mention it is that it's free. Yeah, those lovely 4-letter words, free, with the subscription currently for Earle Wellbeing magazine. So if you haven't yet subscribed and you would like to, you can get this completely free. It's worth, I think, £22.50. So it's a great subscription gift. Or if you want to give a gift subscription, you can do that. And you can either have the gift sent to the recipient, or you can have it sent to you. If you want to give the magazine and keep the gift for yourself, then that's fine. You just have to tell the people at Warner's. If you go online, there's a little box with a note, and you just say, please send the gift to, and put your details in it. Or if you call them, you can actually call them on the phone. They're based in the UK, Warner's, and just tell them where you'd like the gift sent. But it is a really good one, and it's going really quickly. Yeah, I've had some comments about my earrings. So just before I go, so these were inspired by Kenya, by the Kenya coast. This is the mangrove, the little mangrove heart-shaped leaf that grows in the mangroves on the east coast of Kenya, and probably other places as well. But anyway, so I picked up these leaves, and they've got, well, you can see actually in this one, this is the rhodium version. Oops, don't know if you can see the little filigree hearts. They're almost like kind of 3D. This is the box that they come in, by the way, with the little authenticity card, and it's fair trade. So I'm very proud of this. There are very few fair trade jewellery lines. Can you see? Certified fair trade. You can see on there. And at the moment, we do normally do special offers on different ranges, my jewellery team. But this, for spring, they've taken 20% off the entire range. Yeah, so anything, whether you want the neroli, earrings, or necklace rather, or the eucalyptus, or the ivy, or the mangrove, or the wild rose, all of it, 20% off. So grab that for the moment. That is it for today. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for sharing International Women's Day. I'm going to pop some more stories. I've been taking pictures of inspiring women during my travels here and some of the women's groups that I've been connecting with. And you may have seen this sign on social media. It stands for Break the Bias. So if you have a look on social media, hashtag Break the Bias. And this is all about gender equality and getting rid of the bias and the discrimination against women. And I have to say, being in a developing country, in East Africa, it's very prevalent. So it's been especially good, actually, to be here and to raise the voices, particularly of young women and girls who can be very oppressed. And yes, so you just spotted, these are my eucalyptus rings. I stack them. This is the yellow gold and the rose gold, so I've got those on. Lovely, lovely to be with you. Thank you very much. Thank you for, oh, you love the magazine. I wish I had mine. Victoria says, my magazine has arrived just in time for our camping weekend. I hope the sun continues to shine on you, Victoria. The protein powder, Ali, is from Strong Nutrients. It's vanilla casein protein powder. The code, Haggerty Jane, for Delilah is just Liz Loves. Capitals, all one word. Kaz Bunny says, I got the magazine, taking it with me on holiday to read. Fantastic. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Is it good for teenagers doing exams? Yeah, definitely. The balance drops just, I found, took the edge off. The other one that I would suggest, if you've got a lot of anxiety going on, is the Calm Assist. They've got two formulations, which I think could be good. One is Relax, which is really good for sleep and just balancing. That's the one that's got lots of ashwagandha. And also Mood, I think, which is the saffron-based one, which is very kind of, again, balancing, uplifting, if you're feeling a bit low and a bit brought down by everything, which a lot of us are right now, let's face it. But also magnesium. Make sure that you check out magnesium levels and B vitamins and vitamin D. Don't forget vitamin D. Yeah, vitamin D is involved in our happy brain chemicals, our dopamine, really helping to help with anxiety and mood, as well as, of course, supporting our immune system and being really important during the early part of the year in Europe when we don't get so much sunshine. Anyway, that's it for today. I'm going to be back with you on Thursday, and we're going to have a bit more of a focus inside. So today we were looking at kind of the icing on the cake, which is the fun stuff, the makeup. But on Thursday, we're going to be joined by Dr. Sophie Schotter, and we're going to talk about vitamin C and all sorts of nutrients inside, which can help with stress and skin and all of that. We'll also be talking about eye health, Better You, vitamin D, the leapfrog remedies, the ashwagandha, adaptogenic herbs, and more. So I hope that you will join me for that. So until then, I send you all lots of love from me to you. Thank you for being with me today, and see you again very soon. Bye-bye.